Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? Well, what we're going to be talking about today is the results. You know the results that I'm talking about, right? And at the time that I am filming this, okay, we're going to talk about the results so far. Okay, so far, and I am, because I wanted to make sure I got this video out as soon as I possibly could. Okay, so it's right now, it's 2 a.m. And so far, the U.S. Senate, okay, is 46 blue, 48 red. Okay, now, House, 184 blue, 207 red. Governors, 22 blue, 24 red. And that is just so far. Okay, so there are theories that are going around. Okay, and these theories are that one, the Dems will blatantly rig everything right out in the open and dare conservatives to do something about it. Okay, now according to this theory, the Dems are done even trying to pretend to engage in a democratic election. All right, and they would just rig the whole thing and keep both the House and the Senate. I honestly don't see how that could possibly happen, especially with the numbers that I'm seeing right now. Okay. And then they would try to provoke a kinetic reaction from the conservatives so that they can declare an insurrection and attempt nationwide confiscation of boomsticks, freedom seeds. Okay. Now, this argument against this theory is that elections are decentralized. And although, cheating can happen in some areas, it seems extremely difficult to do it nationwide in a coordinated fashion on a local basis. Okay. Now, the second theory is that when a red wave sweeps the House and the Senate, followed by the regime against disobedient Americans. Now, this second theory seems far likely, okay? It looks like, according to recent polls, the frustration of Americans who are reeling from sky-high food prices, fuel prices, rising violent crime, that a red wave is going to sweep across America, taking control of the House, the Senate, several state governorships. Now, this scenario has an advantage of allowing the Dems and the complicit media to claim something like this. So, with this executive power, Potato can wage a war of terror against the American people. Okay? He can dismantle the food and energy infrastructure that keeps people alive. In fact, he has already promised to do exactly that. He actually directly promised to shut down the coal plants in America, which would plunge the nation into an energy collapse scenario. He said, "We're going to be shutting down these plants all across America and having wind and solar." That's not a joke. He said that. The problem, of course, is that you can't scale up wind and solar according to grid demand. With coal plants, you can simply burn more coal as needed, and then you can taper off when demand wanes. But wind power produces nothing when the wind is not blowing. And solar power produces nothing for roughly half of every 24-hour period, since the sun is not always out. And even when the sun is shining, the sharp angles of morning and evening sunlight produce almost no power anyway. And then, just in case you were not certain, that his hopes to dismantle America's energy infrastructure in order to please the green Taliban that dictates energy policy to Dems, he gave a speech in New York proclaiming no more drilling for oil. So all of this is taking place at exactly the same time that a diesel shortage is starting to spread across America. Emergency declarations of diesel fuel delivery has been declared in South Dakota and Nebraska. Anecdotally, some truckers are actually posting videos reporting diesel fuel outages at certain truck stops in other states as well. But the problem appears to be spreading. Now, while we don't believe diesel fuel will be completely run out of America, there's no question that we are going to experience regional diesel outages and delayed refueling times, which, it will translate into delayed shipments of everything, literally everything. And that is because diesel powers the trains, the boats, the long-haul trucks, the construction equipment, the farming equipment, and so much more. I mean, I've said this before, and I will reiterate myself. Without diesel, the American economy grinds to a halt virtually overnight. It is astonishing that as America faces a diesel scarcity emergency, he is promising to halt new drilling and shut down coal plants as well. Nothing he says makes any sense. There are, by any rational analyses, acts of terrorism against American civilian infrastructure. I mean, okay. Food producers, energy hubs, they are part of the civilian infrastructure that keeps America alive. We should not, by any means, be surprised to learn that the Biden regime is targeting this infrastructure, of course. I mean, given that they took part of the destruction of the Nord Stream 1 and 2, condemning tens of millions of Europeans into a harsh winter with extreme scarcity of heat energy, electricity, food, fertilizer. By destroying the Nord Stream pipelines, America proved it will commit acts of terrorism against domestic infrastructure in order to achieve desirable political outcomes, such as disconnecting Germany from Russia's energy supply. This forces Germany to avoid seeking alternative solutions or dropping the economic sanctions against Russia. Ironically, the American people are currently living under equivalent economic sanctions inflicted by our own corrupt, illegitimate government. Tearing down energy infrastructure, food production, distribution hubs. It is a form of economic embargo or commodities embargo that's often used in wartime scenarios. It currently looks like a red wave is going to sweep across America. Should that occur, which I believe it's going to, prepare yourself for the government punishment, the harassment, the terrorism that will quickly follow. This regime will take every opportunity to starve, to freeze, to harass, and otherwise torment the American people over the next 2 years. Why? Because they are the authoritarians who delight in the suffering of others. Because it will not affect them, so what do they care? This is who they are. They will turn up the pain dial to 11. We should also expect false flag cyber attacks on the power grid and an assault on the banking system, potentially leading to bank bail-ins, freezes on banking infrastructure. At some point, the dollar collapses on purpose, and people lose most of their life savings, retirement obligations, etc., etc., etc. So, what is my advice? I'm going to give it to you. To survive all of this, you obviously need to be of the prepared mind. You obviously need to be prepared. Buy extra food. At least 6 months worth. At least. More would be better, but you know. Do you have off-grid money? Physical gold, silver, I don't know. Assets of some sort. Even if it's junk jewelry. Seriously. Emergency communication capabilities, satellite phones, walkie-talkies, like the Retrievis that I advertised for. I love the Retrievis. Okay. The link is in the description box below. They're like $39. Get the Retrievis. Okay. Emergency medical supplies, sanitizers, amp up your first aid kits, man. Okay. Alternative sources of heat this winter, wood stoves, for example. Even if you get the like the oil radiators, the plug and play, the oil radiators. What are those called? The fake fireplaces. You can get those. We had one. Big Lots has them. They're gorgeous. I think we paid like $200 for it, and it was this huge, and it had a mantle and everything, and you plug it in, and it's an energy saver and everything. Matter of fact, Amish make them. Gorgeous. Absolutely. I'd buy one from the Amish first because I would support them, obviously. Self-defense equipment as needed. Keep it legal, of course. These are the things that are important. The hammer is going to drop, my friends. It's going to drop. And it's all because we, the people, are sick and tired. All right, I'm out of here. I appreciate you. You stay safe. You stay positive. You keep prepping. And as always, fear less.